Hello, this is Sarah Marisha White, and this is my new podcast, Our Bodies Will Be Dirt. Tune in to the mind of an artist, land steward, healing practitioner, and warrior for liberation as we talk about life, death, and the liberation of our bodies in between. Make a cup of tea, maybe make a little comfy space for yourself and come tap in with me. What's up, y'all? What's good? Whew. Yeah, just gonna start with that breath, I guess. That exhale. It's still January 2025. Not sure when you'll hear this, but that's what it is right now. And I'm recovering from the flu. So I was just laying in bed for a couple of days. Pretty uncomfortable, but also super stoked to have some time off from having to be somewhere or do something. It sounds a little cray-cray, but I kind of miss parts of the pandemic where there wasn't that external pressure to push yourself to engage with others, at least outside of what you crave and what your spirit craves and what your heart craves. It's for a while people didn't want you to come in, and you just kind of had only yourself and the people in your compound or your house to take care of and deal with. And for some of us, that, for me, I can just speak, that's the most time I've had to myself where I didn't have to feel guilty in a long time. And at the same time, a lot was happening that was really messed up and sad, and a lot of grief and fear, but also, that was the beginning of me understanding what it's like to have a real self-care practice. Not just going to get, my eyebrows done or a massage, but just really caring and tending to myself. And there was some insanity in some of those moments, but I really think who I am now and who I will become comes from that time, that time in the darkness. And I think in many ways as a collective right now, we're also in this time of darkness. And as we're watching some of it unfold, I will always make sure not to mention and talk about that orange person very often. But just seeing in just a few short days, what havoc and hate and divisiveness, is that the word? Dividing? The word that divides us? Just people bickering with each other, and just some things that are just so sad I would not even repeat, that may be put into some type of law. And I think of that as, even more so this outward projection of the darkness that we as a society have allowed to sit, it's been murking. It's been under the soil percolating, and oftentimes just right out in daylight. I think about how people with hoods lit fires and lynched bodies in daylight. So the history as not only people in this country, but just as humans and what humans have done to each other to gain more, hasn't really been so underground. But I think some of the even darker intent has been murking around us while many of us are so pacified by just not having threat that feels time sensitive. And as I was speaking on last time I was here, the fires they're still going on in California. We're having more and more signs that all of these things are adding up, and we really have to make some decisions on who we want to be. To me, it matters less who is sitting in that seat in government, because that government is not taking care of me. That government has never been built to keep people like me safe, because it was built on our backs. It was built on my ancestors' enslavement. It was built on the genocide of the original people. So I bow not to that. I bow to no president, to be honest. And I lean deeper into prayer and into creation and into my tender, tender, tender heart. I caught myself while I was sick, kind of scrolling, and I almost winced multiple times in a row, just like, ugh, so many things that are just like, what? But I'm not surprised. And I had this moment just feeling like everything is just coming in, almost like I was getting buried, just thinking like, how will we even know what to focus on? A tool of the oppressor is to distract, to divide, and compromise our connection with understanding the power that we hold as people. It's worked since the beginning of time. Clip shut our mouths while we're working on the field so we cannot sing the songs, so we cannot tell the stories. And I was listening to Brother Resma speaking on an Instagram Live, and just reminded me how powerful it is to make art now, to say what we feel now, to love people now. Those ripples bring light that can't be broken by this illusion of darkness. These people just piling up their dollars and really just like being gluttonous in the ways that they are just like profanely ill. That's all I can think of, is like little boys that really need some care. And I heard something today that really gave me some peace, so I wanted to share it. And I think it's relevant, as I am someone who stewards land, but also I love farming. I love seeds. And I started to think after reading and hearing what I heard. And let me backtrack a tiny bit. I was thinking of perennials and speaking with the Climate Land leaders, someone from there, about like planting more perennials for next year, and just thinking about how they are these seeds that, these plants grow and then they come back. And so I started to do a little bit of, I'm a curious one. So I was thinking like, okay, what is a perennial? And it's a plant that persists. It survives through the growing season. I thought persists was a word that really resonates for right now. We're in this darkness. All the stuff is going on and we're just kind of like in the midst of it. We're still having to function. Some people maybe have the privilege to just take some time away and process all of this, but some of us have to still, clock in or take care of others in our lives. Or maybe we're having a hard time taking care of ourselves, but what does it mean to persist? And, even thinking more about it, I saw something that was speaking on it being plants that can make it through the year. And that really all depends on what's going on with the climate. Any invasive species that may have gotten to the roots. It's whatever can last after everything that's went on and still come back up. That's the new growth. We can't really control what is coming at us. And we can't really control necessarily how close things may get to our foundations, but we can control how we care for ourselves, the seed. Our ideas are the seed. Our dreams are the seed. Our children are the seed. Our poetry, the seed. Our recipes, the seed. Our prayers, the seed. Our in-person meetings, the seed. The places we dance, the seed. The commitments we make, the seed. The ways we love each other, the seed. The ways we come together to plan things, the seed. The ways we're brave enough to say things we mean, the seed. The way we stand up to protect others, the seed. The ways we don't stand by and watch violence, the seed. The ways we rise up to stand together to say no, we will not stand by and be complicit and take this as the only way to go is the seed. And we might not see right away the benefits. I feel like I personally have been in a dark space for a year to 6 months where I'm just like, man, what is this? What is this dark womb? What is this cocoon with no door? I didn't ask for this. I had a different plan for my life. And now that I've been in here a minute, now that I've gotten a little more comfortable with just like understanding that I don't know anymore. Like exactly what I'm here to do. I don't know anymore exactly the way that I will be able to help anybody or if I will. But I know that from where I'm sitting right now, I must wait and plant seeds. It's interesting. It's not that like surprising because I get emotional a lot, but I just feel emotional thinking of the seeds that I have been planting. And some of them feel small to me, but just going out of my way to show my love to another and kindness for myself, towards myself when I'm in a hard place. For me is fertilizer because spring will come. You can feel it when the sun is kissing us, even when it's frigid here. It's been negative, way below zero in the Midwest. And I don't know, despite what's going on in the world, I feel spring. And I think about how when these perennials right now that are down under the ground resting, there's no sight of them really. Maybe some shriveled up brush. Maybe there's some leaves that died, but for the most part, everything looks pretty dormant, at least in this part of the world where I'm living right now. But we know without a doubt, even if the weather patterns have shifted eventually, they will flower. They will be fragrant. They will change and engage with the ecosystem. And that is inevitable. And I feel that way about us, our people. That makes this time a little bit exciting to me as a revolutionary minded, as someone who I feel like I can't wait till we break free. I don't like to play the game. I'm not really a how are you type. I'm like, what's good? What's in your heart? What do we need? How do we shift? And I've been weary. I've been like, I'm not really in the conversation, but I'm in this little cocoon of my own, just gaining up enough momentum and energy and clarity to really be able to step into a place where I can make a difference and where I'm not stuck in such a scarcity wheel that I can't see past my own needs. So this is a journey for all of us. I definitely do not have the answers. I more was coming with just some medicine of the seed, a reminder of the seed. I was thinking, who is the keeper of the seed? What is our responsibility to ourselves? What can we let go of once we plant and nourish the dreams that we have? When do we know that we have to walk away? The seed has so much information inside for all of us to learn. And I love that seeds can be burned and they can freeze and they can travel across the world through our hands and braids, love letters, and survive and last and grow again. Anyways, kind of went off on a tangent, but this is part of my medicine. This is part of my practice, showing up. And I haven't even really been sharing that I'm recording these. These are for me to get over some of my, what is that word? I can't think of it right now. Basically, when you don't think that you are good enough to do something. Imposter syndrome. Quote. I think of it as insecurity. I think of it as things not going the way I wanted them to go, and my path that I perceived taking a different direction. And my discomfort there made me a little bit insecure and shy, and felt like maybe the things I have to say don't matter. And how do we bring light onto a lie? Expose yourself, show yourself. And so I come with love, I come with resiliency, I come with resistance, and I come blowing life into your heart to remember who you are. Anything is possible, and see if you can find one person close to you to check in with and strategize around safety, security, and breaking bread. I love you. Peace. Take care.